Good evening, my name is Rosa Marino and I will be discussing a scientific article written by Bar et al., which details an experiment that aimed to reproduce and analyse the flight of bats in varying light conditions. It has been discovered that animal flight requires fine motor control and it is theorised that bats fly differently in light versus dark. The aim of the study was to develop an understanding of how flying animals rapidly transform noisy sensory information into adequate motor commands. This includes both sensory noise and movement dynamics. 6 adult Egyptian fruit bats were chosen for this experiment and their flight patterns towards a target were recorded in a large, dark, echo-free room. These bats were trained to detect black spherical targets resembling fruits. The bat's flight to the target was captured on 2 high-speed digital video cameras. These videos were then analysed and recreated in a computer model. The model used 2 controllers, an angular controller for turning and thrust controller for forward movement. The model also received the bat's initial flight readings, velocity, position and target. With every sensory update, the model recalculated direction and distance from the bat's new position to its target. Experiment 1 results showed that the forces being applied during the bat's flight were too large to be modelled successfully using a proportional controller. Large frequent variations of velocity and angle do not converge to zero. Therefore, proportional controllers are not acceptable for the explanation of flight guidance. The results obtained in Experiment 2 using the proportional derivative controller were stable and led to convergence 100% of the trials. This method was so successful that it could even model the full 360-degree rotation of the bats. Experiment 3 results showed that the trials with added noise found an increase in manoeuvring errors, and often the model failed to converge. The PD model failed because of the added noise, and the researchers theorised that the bats must use a noisy suppression strategy. Experiment 4 results found that the sensory noise determines motor performance, and less noise allows for stronger manoeuvring forces. Light conditions were changed from pitch black to 1 lux, which is considered optimal light for bat vision, and the experiment was repeated. The PD controllers used in dark conditions were proven unsuccessful in the light conditions, so a new PD controller was developed. This new model proved very accurate and showed that the bats exerted significantly stronger forces when flying in the light, and their flight trajectory was more direct than in darker conditions. The model confirms that the highly curved flight trajectories of bats at night time are not due to motor limitations but rather to sensory limitations. A further study taking into account external forces and the noise in the bat's motor and proprioception systems could produce an even more realistic scenario. However, the difference in results may be minimal.